And welcome again to another fun session of High Vibe Channeling for this March 12th, 2026. Today we have the pleasure and the return of Dante Starshine Filipini, who is bringing in his Pleiadian counsel. Dante is a healing channel, spirit counselor, and author whose work bridges ancient and modern modalities of transformation. He's experienced in yoga, meditation, shamanism, energy healing, sound and astrology, and has a long history of being an apprentice to healers and teachers throughout Latin America and beyond. And that opened him up to his intuitive channeling and communication with his Pleiadian guides. He's the author of several books, and you can find those on his website, heartflowtransmissions.com, and I will put ways to contact him on the YouTube description and in our chat. And the cornerstone of his teaching is act on your highest excitement to the best of your ability without insistence on a particular outcome. And he has a mission to help others reconnect with their inner wisdom, heal emotional patterns, and live from passion, presence, and purpose. Anything else you would like to add, wonderful Mr. Dante?
I'm not sure. Any questions I can answer? I'm happy to be here today.
Well, if you want to go through your books or whatever, I know you're redoing a lot of your previous works and your autobiography is in progress.
Oh yeah. So I have four books out there already, and it all started with the guidebook to Living Love on Earth, which was a sort of community project in that people who were part of my channeling course, which I teach, I invited to come back to support the process of channeling it, like bring their own questions. So it was kind of like hive mind creation, but the answers all come from the Pleiadian Council. And the channel books are mostly in that spirit of a dialogue where it comes from sessions like this, so it feels very natural to dive into. And the guidebook has all of the information on their cosmology and the connections to Pleiades and other star systems where the different ETs that come through in this work originate. There's also Heart First, which is more about how do we live in the flow state. It's like a guides to work with this acronym impact that represents all of the qualities of the heart, the qualities that emerge when we are in the flow of connection with our higher self. And it's about how we can constantly remember these qualities to always return and kind of pivot from the moments where we might encounter friction or resistance. When we remember this impact and the qualities like passion, presence, purpose, acceptance, awakening, and I don't think that's one of them. Acceptance, awareness, transparency, truth, trust, etc. These qualities bring us back into that flow state. And the other book, like Heart Flow Transmissions, came out recently, and it's actually all of the channel sessions that you find on YouTube, like the best of, were transcribed. So yeah, there's that and more. And I'm really, so those all came through in the sorts of work that we do today. Like when I'm channeling, like it's spoken and transcribed, but I've been, I started, as a writer, was like going to college, English major, but I stopped that path for my spiritual calling. But I think since that day, I've still wanted to write as well. But oddly, it's taken more time to feel like I've perfected like my human transmission than the transmissions from the guide. So if you stay on the lookout in the next few months, books that I've been working on for years and years and years that didn't flow as effortlessly as these other ones are on the way.
Excellent. Nice synopsis, almost like you practiced.
Yeah, maybe.
And we're ready. I know it's called the Pleiadian Council, but I know there are a group of many extraterrestrials, as you mentioned. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think what I get from the guides is that whenever we tune in with our higher self or tune in with them, it's like all of the beings from our other lifetimes are just as much present. So these guides, they seem external, but on a soul level, they are our past or future lifetimes that are alive inside the present through the multidimensional connections.
I like that phrasing. All right. Well, unless anyone else has questions, we'll let him go ahead and bring in the council, and we'll see what they have to say and see what answers they have to give. Thank you, Dante.
All right, yeah, let's do it. Hello, and we say a fantastic day to all of you at this moment of your time. You may call us the Pleiadian Council. We speak on behalf of a galactic alliance of beings that support your world in your process of a spiritual evolution. We always thank you first for allowing these interactions to take place, as they open up a bridge that allows for us to reflect between our respective realities. And these reflections support you and us both in a deepening connection with the source. For this, we extend our gratitude and we ask, how can we be of assistance to you today with any of your interests, questions, comments, musings, or inquiries, beginning whenever you might like?
Excellent, and thank you very much for your help. I have a question. If you could give us a little bit of the history of Malbec. I know that there are a lot of rumors, I guess, floating around and about its creation and destruction, but can you clue us in or maybe give us a summary on that, please?
Maldek was the original civilization that emerged in your solar system. This took place some, we might estimate 100 million of your Earth years ago. And this civilization was beginning with souls that were seeking an incarnational exit from the Orion conflicts. This became the place that they sought to base themselves and to establish peace. And this civilization lasted for a significant period of time. One of the beings that incarnated in this world would be known as Hathor. And this name was given in your present times. In their ancient language, it was very different. They had a bit of a feline presence and quality to them. Now, because Maldek was a civilization that emerged through the ongoing Orion conflict, eventually they were pulled back into the fray and they resisted a tyrannical oppression from the Orion Empire. Eventually, this brought hostile attacks towards Maldek, resulting in the total annihilation of the planet. The souls from that point on chose instead to incarnate onto non-physical planes. Hence, some of the souls from Maldek actually now inhabit an astral plane on your planet Venus, whereas other souls from this realm have instead chosen to incarnate into civilizations like Mars, where they were given a second chance that ultimately faltered as well. So your Earth is the third realm of incarnation for your solar system in particular.
That's very interesting. Thank you very much. Alan?
Yes, hello. My question is, contact is supposed to take place in a relatively short period of time, and I don't feel many of us are quite ready yet. So, how will the gap be bridged with human consciousness? How will we be able to come up to the level to make contact a reality for many of us?
Indeed, some of you aren't yet ready and others of you are. The way to prepare is acting on your excitement as best as you can without insisting on an outcome. Because naturally, your own passion is what raises your frequency more than anything else. Raising your frequency is ultimately returning to your true calling, your true drive, your true will, you may say. Many philosophers have talked about this concept of your inner will. And this will is something that pushes you to act, yet can be suppressed by mind. Will and mind are different. Another way of saying act on your excitement means honor your true will, honor what is essential to your being. Being more of yourself allows you to be more in contact with other sorts of consciousness. We would invite you to think about moments in which you felt starstruck, uncomfortable, intimidated, despite knowing you were safe. That might be the feeling akin to what arises within humans as they encounter beings like us from another dimension in a physicalized way. This starstruck feeling arises when you feel as if you meet someone larger than life, someone bigger and more beyond you. Yet that in and of itself is a concept in your mind, a concept in your own beliefs. Because again, your belief systems are what create your own experience of reality. And thus you could say, you will never be ready until you believe you are ready. Once you believe you are ready, then you will be ready.
Okay, thank you.
Christina?
Thank you. And greetings to you, and thank you for the co-creation.
Yes.
I have a bit of a silly 3D question. I like, everybody to be happy and all this. And there's a lot of images circulating in our, social platforms. And there's a lot of extraterrestrials that are looking what I would describe as a bit grumpy. Like they have their mouths down to here. And I want to, I'm thinking, boy, smile a bit. And I know there's a lot that have telepathy. So a facial expression is not important. But would you like to comment on why there's so many that are looking grumpy?
Not all who are fascinated with the idea of extraterrestrial life are on the same wavelength, you could say. There are just as many who might be concerned or afraid of the idea of this extraterrestrial contact. So sometimes you get a fear-based spin on the concept of extraterrestrial life. Yet, just as you said, there are certainly other ETs who don't express emotion in the same way that you do. Their expression does not seem happy to you, but there is nothing unhappy about them. So you could say that there's many different factors at play here, one of which is that, yes, sometimes you humans create a fear-based distortion of this information. And the other aspect is that certainly happiness doesn't look the same across species.
Thank you. Yes. The hybrid children and the other hybrid races, because they're closer to us, they, they make an effort to smile.
Yes.
And that's really sweet of them. It's much appreciated. But
Well,
that was just a
they're not
question.
to be sweet, they're just being who they are.
Yes.
But again, you relate to that because they're more similar to you. Hence, yes, hybrids are those that are scheduled to meet you first because you see yourselves in them, because you are close to them.
Yes.
And thank you for that detail. I was curious, are there different types of Sasquatch? I know we lump them into a one general term, but are there differentiations within that?
Slightly, but not, there aren't extreme variants. Around the globe, Sasquatch beings might appear slightly different in various regions, but there's not a drastic change.
Okay, but I know they have expressions in other realms as well because they are interdimensional and can alter their makeup, I will say, to fit into many realms. And all expressions in other realms would have different forms naturally. They're not going to conform to our rules.
Yes,
So
this is
would they have different, I'm assuming they would have different forms in those roles or realms?
not exactly. They don't always change their form from one realm to another. They simply change their core vibration so that they can navigate the shift between the different dimensional realms.
Ooh, that's good news. Okay, cool. Thanks for that explanation. Appreciate that. Alan, go ahead.
You just mentioned the hybrid children. I would like to know, um, were the Pleiadians involved with the hybrid children agenda?
No,
Can you tell us how the hybrid children are going to affect humanity? What will their effect be? Will they mix with us and will that help raise our vibration? Will that be the beginning of a new species of humanity?
eventually it leads to a new species. At first, the hybrid children are part of a gradual project of allowing humanity to step by step acclimatize to different frequencies, acclimatize to different types of consciousness, and recognize that there is a grand process of becoming and integrating into a galactic alliance. The hybrid children, because they will be directly related to you while still upgraded, you could say, represent that initial step in integrating new types of energy. They will guide humans to become more intuitive, more honest, more authentic in their expression, more creative, and even telepathic. They will have different ways of communicating that will startle humans and naturally tap into some psychic abilities through proximity. Just as much, they will sometimes be a bit trickstery in the way that they might appear to some of you as very confrontational, very direct. And this is to help you let go of some of your pretenses and defenses that get in the way of your true expression of how you feel and think, so as to please. They will catalyze many processes of great healing and simultaneously help you to recognize how much untapped potential has always existed within you psychically.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
To continue a little bit on that hybrid theme, once we get to the Anonica and then all of the hybrid races, the best of them form the Anuhet, which I know is 1,000 years or so in our future. Are they quasi-physical?
Yes. The Anuhet will be quasi-physical.
Okay, and then the next civilization our evolution will take us into non-physical realms. So we will have non-physical humans at some point.
Eventually.
I think I'll wait.
One step at a time, we would say.
And I have a question about our Earth and its grid lines. Since it's all an illusion and we're all creating our own, what basis or what structure or energetic grid or whatever do they help with us in maintaining our illusion, or is it more for the operation within it?
Which grid lines are you speaking of?
Oh, I wasn't aware that there was months. I just thought that they were just grid lines that the Earth grid lines, which are energetic.
Like ley lines?
Yes.
Oh, yes. What about them?
I was curious, do they help maintain our illusion or do they just help operate within it?
Well, akin to how you have meridians that run through your body that allow for life force to move, this is how the life force of the earth energy moves. So there are certain places, for example, like the Mount Shasta, that receive energy and distribute it through ley lines. Often these ley lines run through mountain valleys, and they might run through rivers and other forms of natural features, including tectonic plates. These natural tributaries of energy send information and, you could say, psychic content from place to place. Just as much, they are connected to the grids of mycelium that are the way that plants and the natural world communicate. So through these lines, information travels across the earth, reaching from place to place.
Wonderful. That was very comprehensive. Thank you. Anyone else with a question? Heidi?
Hello, I'm speaking with the Pleiadian Council. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay. I think I've spoken with you before, but I wanted to ask, am I allowed to ask more of a personal question, to ask for some personal insight? Okay. I wanted to know, are you able to tell me anything about how healing might be a part of my ancestry, like the healing practice, and how that might be in part of my family?
In generations longer past, there was a connection to herbalism, healing plants and foods. Some of your ancestors knew the specific plants from the forest and recipes to bring healing wisdom. Just as much, there were certain practitioners of palmistry, even spell work at times in your lineage. So you could say it's in your blood to be able to read patterns both in nature and in the human body.
And that's yeah, that feels right, especially with recent experiences. And when you talk about spell work, I mean, right now the connotation of that may not really represent what what they did. Can you tell me like an example or an idea of what type of spell work, what that means?
Spell work can be done in a variety of ways. The essential mechanic of it is stemming from the recognition that reality is mental, and with a powerful enough mental focus and will, you can bend reality, so to speak. There can be a variety of different magical practices. You might, for example, use visualization, word, and a ritual space in order to summon a particular result, like success in love or business, or success on your spiritual path. You may also do it to manifest more specific and casual outcomes, or to simply stay in alignment with the guides of your preference. There are a wide variety of ways that this sort of work is done, and you can adjust it to your own interests if it is something that calls to you. The simplest acts of spell work are prayer, affirmation, and holding the image of an intended result in your mind's eye with positive expectation and neutral attachment.
That's really helpful. Thank you. I think, every time that you mention the word spell work, because of my Christian background, I back away from that word. But when you explain it, like you're using the power of prayer or words or intention, um, then and you take away any other connotations of those words, then it all does make sense and feels comfortable. So thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Yes, certainly. Though do also know that there's much spell work that emerged from Christian belief systems, such as the Rosicrucian lineage of the rose.
Is that connected to Mary Magdalene? Rose? No?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, interesting.
But this is a more recent lineage that traced back to that ancient time.
Is it also connected to the Essenes?
Not directly, but in the
Okay.
same way that they were attempting to revive the wisdom of that time, certainly.
Okay. Wow. Thank you very much. I appreciate your answer.
Yeah. Our thanks to you as well.
Christina Anna.
Hello again.
Hello, yes.
Some synchronicities recently brought up the question inside me if I was a member of the Black League. Are you allowed to answer this?
Yes, there is a past incarnation where you were a member of such a league.
I thought I would be. And recently I also thank you very much for the answer. And recently I also read the wonderful book, The Prism of Lyra,
Yes.
and it is very, very beautifully channeled.
Yes.
I noticed that the reptilians and the draconians are not mentioned in that book. Was that like an agreement that this information was better given to us at a later date, or?
You could say that this author was more interested in informing you about the lineages that were connected to humanity's direct evolution. So the reptilian interference was not part of this intention, as often those sorts of stories come to be associated with deep levels of fear and paranoia that are not necessary for your growth.
Thank you. Well, I am of the opinion that there have been good relations between the two species, but I understand that if the focus was different, then it didn't make sense for the specific book. Thank you.
Well, also you must take into account that it's a very vast universe, and for all of the cosmic history to be included would be more than could be written and contained in 1 or 2 or 3 or 50 books. So generally, the guides who present themselves to channels and those who have the eyes to see is the essential teaching that can help you remember where you came from. As you could say that soul agreements are made between certain planetary spheres, as in souls can incarnate between specific planetary realms but not others because they are not related. So you are related to beings from Lyra, Sirius, Vega, Pleiades, and Orion, just as much as the hybrid races who are more recent and come also from the future. The Draconians and beings from places like Alpha Centauri, where there is reptilian influence, are not necessarily related to you at a soul level, but they invaded, they tricked, they prodded their way into the evolution of the Earth at certain times. And so they have mixed their energy and their genome with yours, but they are not essentially your direct relatives.
I see. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Alan.
Okay, thank you. As first contact is rapidly approaching, can you give us some idea of what we might expect this year in terms of perhaps sightings or any other phenomenon that may prepare us for actual first contact?
There might be an increase in sightings by humans through your spring and summer months. There can also be some disclosures that take place where secret information that has been hidden from your governments is revealed bit by bit. Just as much, you may find that humans themselves go through an increase in an expansion of their psychic capacity. So, as we've said, and we'll say again, for many, the idea of open contact is having personal and direct telepathic connections with extraterrestrials.
Okay, thank you.
And I know it's been reported in many places around the world where there have appeared to be trumpet noises which have come in without any point of origination. Can you comment on that, please?
Think of the tarot card, Judgment, where the trumpet plays and those of the earth celebrate the coming day of judgment. So there is a phenomena here where this trumpet is connected with the calling in of a great song of awakening. This great song of awakening is calling in the true judgment of humanity. And this divine judgment is not a condemnation, it is a reckoning. It is the reconciliation with the truth of your inner being. And this trumpet horn is that beckoning sound that calls you to awaken, that calls you to see the truth. And in so many ways, what you are now being asked to do is honor the truth, reveal the truth, see the truth. There are certain things that are being disclosed, both about ETs and about the secrets of governments and officials and those behind closed doors. They come to light. And just as much, this is a mirror for you to reveal your secrets to yourself, to come out of hiding, to allow the horn of final judgment to descend upon you so that you may see yourselves for who you are, as that is the first step to allowing in others. You cannot reveal a truth to others that you have not yet admitted to yourself. And this is what the horn often represents.
Wow, that was really insightful. And not that I didn't expect that, but thank you very much. That was very
Yes.
nice. Um, I'm curious. I know that we are really a dense realm, and we have forgotten on purpose our attachments, I will say. But is consuming other beings rare in other physical forms?
You mean like eating them?
Yes, or eating in general.
There are beings who don't eat on other planets, but you must remember that that's not where you're at. You cannot accelerate the process too fast. You have to meet your biology where you're at. You have to meet your needs, your desires, the truth of your body exactly where you are at. And so, certainly, many of you in your world may choose to engage in a vegetarian diet. And just as much, while this may have benefits, it may have drawbacks for some. It is a matter of listening to your body and knowing your body. When you have a established relationship with the spirit of the animal kingdom, and you have an established knowledge base of where animals come from and how they are raised or hunted, you can live in trust and solidarity with the animal's kingdom, knowing that just like animals, like the lions and the bears and the wolves, everyone has to eat.
Okay. Anyone else? Heidi?
I wanted to ask about Kilauea, the volcano.
Yes.
Um, I was just wondering, I've only recently followed or realized that there's been 40, I think 43 episodes now. And I think I came in on episode 42. Is there a message from this volcano or the spirit of this volcano because it's been very active for so long now?
Well, Kilauea is birthing the island of Hawaii, and this active volcano is in a deep process of creation. Those who live in the nearby town of Volcano can watch the movement of the lava vents and the soot that arises. And they feel that communication with the earth through the spirit of this volcano. The volcanoes are the earth's way of gradual cosmic creation as new earth forms through their lava spews. This is also a way for tension beneath the earth's surface to release and evolve. And you could say that the message of the volcanoes to humanity is to create, to embrace, and to accept destruction as a necessary force in the cycle of creation. As with each eruption, there are places that get destroyed, sometimes the most beautiful, sacred places that were sanctuaries for those who lived amongst them, get consumed by the lava. Yet just as much, new places, new locations get formed, new places where the water collects, and new pathways to the ocean are birthed. So gradually over time, the earth changes shape, and the volcanoes are the way for earth to do as such. This represents to you that sometimes in order for the next phase of your journey to be established, you must build on top of yesterday's paradise to create tomorrow's future.
Wow, yeah, thank you very much. It's important to remember that we're not when we're going on a new path or we're going to start something new, that we can't rule out that something will have lost something in that process. So thank you for that reminder.
Yes.
I know that dream interpretations are personal and we have to interpret them into forms or symbols that we can understand and relate to. But is there a particular source which is more reliable than others that we can tap into? A lot of people now are using AI for that.
AI can be interesting. It can offer a variety of sources. You might want to ask AI, perhaps interpret this through a Jungian lens, interpret this through a Native American shamanic lens, interpret this through a modern lens. As certainly AI is aware of all of the different schools of dream interpretation. That said, we do see great power in the work of people like Carl Jung, who studied the dreams of many patients and found recurring archetypes and symbology. But of course, if you have very personal experiences with a specific symbol, that overrides the meaning established in the collective unconscious. So you must also recognize what the symbol means to you. Beyond the way that the symbols show up, it's also about how it feels when you're in the dream. What is the emotional charge? And ask yourself from that point, where in my life do I feel the same charge as I felt in my dream? If you felt afraid in the dream, what is causing you to feel a similar fear? If you feel excited and elated in the dream, what area of your life leads you to feel so elated? And once you establish that connection, then you can see the place where that symbol fits in.
Excellent, because I know I've been having lots of dreams about employment that I've had in the past, managing restaurants and working in different offices doing collections and other sorted things, or
Yeah.
assorted things, not really sorted things, but okay, yeah, that's some nice detail. I appreciate that. That'll steer me into exploring a little bit more of that, especially since I can direct AI to specific types of lenses, as you said.
Yes.
Anyone else? And Pleiadian Council, thank you so much. It looks like that is the end of our question and answer portion. It has been
All
very
right.
revealing, and if you have a final message, we're all ears.
All right. We thank you so much for allowing this interaction to take place. And we would like to reflect again on that idea of the erupting volcano and the power held within it. This volcanic force is one that goes through cycles of dormancy and activity. There is often no warning before a sudden emergence of a tremor. And these birthing tremors are something that you just as much go through in the process of rebirthing yourself. You may feel at times in your life that suddenly you have to make a separation, as in you find yourself at one with others, at one with a community, at one with a time, a space, a place, or an identity that has been outlived. You may feel as if you have to erupt, that you have to, in that way, create yourself anew. And so the lava that is stored within the earth emerges rapidly and transforms around the cone of the volcano, allowing new land to form, allowing the deep molten lava to become solid new land. And in this way, what is soft and hot eventually becomes hard and cold. What is without form becomes solid. And this is the process of birthing yourself anew that requires
We might have run into connection issues. You're muted, Council.
we're sorry about that.
That's quite all right. It was a wonderful analogy.
Yes, let's finish it quickly. And again, as we've said, the lava that was stored within the volcano emerges from it. So what was once hot, soft, without a solid form, emerges and becomes solid, cold, and takes shape. And just as much in this way, this is the process of rebirthing yourself. What was at once an idea gets birthed into reality. You create new land, new vision to create yourself a new way. And sometimes this process of rebirthing yourself feels volcanic. It feels as if you have to say goodbye to a version of yourself that you once knew to become a new version of yourself. A new version of yourself that has more courage, is more dedicated to your specific vision, and allows you to conceive of yourself in a new way. And this process is not always easy, but it is a process that leads you to have that clear creative power to birth worlds and to create harmony between yourself and others. So never fear the eruptions. Know that even destruction brings newness in its wake.
Thank you. We all appreciate you, your time, and your wisdom.
Oh, and our great and our love to you as well. Okay. I'm
Well
back.
done, Dante. Well done.
Thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed that.
Very much so.
That was
Great.
great.
Yep. Very revealing.
Nice.
So we're going to go ahead and wrap up this first session, unless you have anything else you want to say to Dante or vice versa.
We'll get on if you like to join the Heartflow Transmissions YouTube channel, Thursday transmissions, not next week, but following that, they'll continue. And you can see there was a transmission earlier today as well. So it's a beautiful group that you can hop on.
And you can sign up for his emails, which will give you that. And those emails also have the YouTube transcripts of all of those sessions, as well as the current information. And I do post his Thursday transmissions on the High Vibe Channeling Facebook page as well.
Thanks so much for that.
Oh, and thank you. And you can find more about him on the YouTube description, as well as heartflowtransmissions.com. And we're going to go ahead and stop this recording and take a small break.